Now only on WHAS 11 News at 6 tonight, Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear returned to eastern Kentucky today, 2 years after devastating flooding. Tomorrow, though, he's going to be in Des Moines, Iowa, addressing Iowa Democrats in a state that can help launch national political careers. WHAS 11's Isaiah Kim Martinez and our senior photojournalist Alyssa Newton are in the state capital of Des Moines right now. And Isaiah, as you know, he's going to be the keynote speaker. They've really been eager to hear from him. Why is this an important visit for the governor at this stage, especially this week?
Well, we know the history, Doug, that Iowa has when it comes to the impact it can have on potential presidential candidates. We know that is not what the governor has talked about with this visit, but it cannot be ignored. Even though this trip was planned before President Biden dropped out, it has happened. VP Kamala Harris, is looking for a running mate, and you can imagine this speech holds a lot more weight now. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear will be getting an up-close look at the famed Gold Dome, the Iowa State Capitol building. This state known in the political world as a launch pad for those seeking a run at the White House.
You know, had candidates like Barack Obama come out of Iowa. We definitely love to see people coming through Iowa. A candidate can come in with pretty much nothing and they can figure out how to win this state. Paige Godin is the communications director for the Iowa Democratic Party. She says they invited Beshear to be the keynote speaker for their annual Liberty and Justice fundraiser after his decisive win in November in the deeply red Kentucky. I asked Beshear earlier this month, why Iowa?
Well, I want to help. I want to help make sure that we elect good people and that we are competitive in even tough states. We're hopeful that we can sort of replicate a success and get our voters fired up.
The ballroom you see here will be packed with 450 Iowans, made up largely of labor union membership.
And we weren't quite at the sold out capacity yet before Kamala Harris announced her candidacy this past weekend. And since then, we've definitely seen a large influx in ticket sales and we've seen excitement.
Again, Governor Andy Beshear will be here in Des Moines, Iowa within the next 24 hours to talk to hundreds of voters who, again, are used to seeing big-time political figures. Now, Doug, we do have here in Iowa, there is a 6-week abortion ban going into effect on Monday. So it's very possible that could be a topic which we know Beshear is comfortable talking about. He could bring that up tomorrow. I also want to note that we have heard him talk up Vice President Kamala Harris more and more as the days have gone on. We'll look to hear some more of those national themes tomorrow night, Doug.
Well, let's talk about the current moment and where we are with Andy Beshear in the national headlines. You know, he likes to downplay his intentions about being a possible vice president, but isn't he really auditioning for the job with those very pointed comments against J.D. Vance? And don't you think Kamala Harris is noticing what Andy Beshear has been saying?
Well, Doug, auditioning is the word that many we've spoken to, political figures, experts have used. Some have said it's obvious. I do want to read you a tweet from the governor today. He actually said, quote, "No matter what the future holds, Kentucky is my home. That will never change because I'm a proud Kentuckian." Read with that what you will. Another note here. He has attacked, obviously, J.D. Vance, taken some shots at him. And now, obviously, we've heard some jabs over at President Trump. We've heard him say he has a threat to democracy, as well as he can't believe he is the candidate, Republican nominee for president. Doug.
Well, as we've been telling folks, this speech, keynote speaker's address there in Des Moines was set up long before Andy Beshear became really front and center in the news on vice president. But don't you really go to Iowa for a speech like this if you're looking long term, say down to 2028 for that presidential race?
Doug, I believe political experts would tell you, the folks I've talked to, it's never too soon. We've seen former presidents, former President Jimmy Carter came to Iowa about a year before he made that big run, had a lot of momentum when the caucuses started up the election year. So we've seen it last 1 year and have impact. We've seen it be longer. So it doesn't necessarily mean that the governor is looking at the following year. We do know that he is going to be addressing the top issues Americans are dealing with right now, and we'll make sure to have a full reaction tomorrow night right here.
All right, Isaiah, thank you. We'll have another report from Isaiah tonight at 11. Again, that speech tomorrow night. So full coverage on our weekend newscast. Thank you both.